how to study in groups. So when approaching this, you want to first be sure you're picking the right people to study with. Like, you want to choose people who are serious about school, who maybe have similar goals as you, who are focused and are motivated to do well in the subject that you want to study together. And next, I would recommend that you guys don't have a study group of more than 4 people, because at least in my experience, in groups of that are larger than 4, it's super easy to lose focus and it's not as productive as it could be. So the next thing I would suggest while studying in groups is to try to eliminate as many distractions as possible. And so an easy way to do this is to just go to your local coffee shop or the library, maybe a Starbucks, and just sit down there for however long you need to. And I would also suggest that you try to eliminate as much phone and laptop usage as possible, because it's so easy to just be studying with someone and then they get a text and they just kind of keep answering that instead. And so you could kind of just suggest to your friends that maybe to all put your phones on airplane mode or do not disturb mode for a certain amount of time, maybe a half hour, an hour, whatever. And that just helps make everything more focused and productive. The next thing that I would suggest is pretty obvious, but it's definitely to be sure that you are prepared with everything you'll need for your study session. For example, for AP Biology, I would bring my 2 AP prep books, my textbook, workbook, so a notebook for scratch paper, my notes for the year, including all labs and things like that, a composition notebook with all of my textbook outlines, my vocabulary notebook, and pens and any other supplies I need, and just making sure you have everything that you think you might need for your study session will just make everything run so much more smoothly, because you'll have all of the material that you'd ever need to cover. So the first thing that I like to do in a study session with my friends is to do a collective brain dump. And basically, we first pick a topic and take out a blank sheet of paper, and then we, as a group, try to remember as many terms and vocabulary and people and processes and write all of those down. And we did this in either a list or a mind map format. And I think that this is just such an awesome method, because right away, starting out, you can see exactly where the gaps are in everyone's knowledge, where you guys can learn from each other, or really any places that need review. And I think that's really great also to help set goals for the study session as well. So as for actually studying, there are plenty of ways to keep everyone engaged and be really, really effective in a group. And so the first is definitely to review by asking each other questions, and you can base these off of things like flashcards or summary foldables. You can do this through Quizlet, or even the multiple choice questions in AP prep books. And something else that I found was really, really useful when reviewing for the AP exam was to look at the sample free response questions in AP prep books, and instead of just answering them on our own, in an essay format or whatever, we discussed what our answers would be as a group. And I think that was just super useful. You can really understand what different people would write based on their perspective, and really make sure that you cover as much as you possibly can. And so in addition to that, you can make up games. You can split into teams of 2 and maybe do a type of Jeopardy type thing. You can make things into kind of a competition if you'd like, and definitely make sure you change up your methods so it doesn't feel monotonous. Another thing that I found was really useful was to have someone who's really confident in a certain topic re-explain those concepts to the whole group, and everyone kind of took turns explaining the thing that they knew the best or that they were most confident in, and the other people would be able to really review things, ask questions. And I think that's just such an amazing way to review for everyone, both the person who is, quote, teaching and the people who are reviewing, because it reinforces the information for everyone present. And so I think that just having a big combination of all sorts of methods is so useful and makes for a really, really great study session. So I hope that you guys kind of got some ideas on what to do for your study sessions. And if you have any other ideas, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, because